Sorry, if you want to use one side.
We welcome you to this forum featuring the candidates who have filed to run for mayor of Crystal, to represent Section 1 on the Crystal City Council, and unopposed candidates for Ward 3 and Ward 4. The election will be held on Tuesday, November 6th from 7 a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. My name is Lois, President of the League of Women Voters of Crystal, New Hope, and East Plymouth. The League of Women Voters is proud of its history of citizen education in our communities and provides these forums to help you make more informed decisions in local elections. The League of Women Voters is a political organization that does not support or oppose any political candidate or party. We do not assume responsibility for the contents of the candidate's statements. Only credentialed media may record this event for purpose of news coverage. It is being cablecast on Crystal City Channel and will be replayed. Candidates may not use debate clips in their campaign ads. Tonight, we'd like to introduce the Girl Scouts from Troop number 13733 from Plymouth Creek Elementary School. This year, the Girl Scouts are celebrating their 100th year anniversary. We welcome these girls to our forum. Our moderator this evening is Joanne Brown. Thank you. Our moderator this evening is Joanne Brown, a resident of New Hope and a member of the Crystal New Hope East Plymouth League of Women Voters.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here, and please join me in welcoming the candidates as they present their reasons for wanting to serve as mayor of the city of Crystal, as council member from Section 1, and as council members from Wards 3 and Ward 4. The forum for mayoral candidates will take place until 7:40 p.m. Unopposed candidates will then have an opportunity to speak to their candidacy, and then Section 1 candidates will follow from 7:50 to 8:25 p.m. And here's just a little idea of the format that we follow in our League of Women Voters forums. Each candidate will have up to 2 minutes for an opening statement, and that's an opportunity for them to tell about themselves and why they are running for mayor or a seat on the city council. And then following that, members of the audience may ask questions of individual or all candidates. Please write your questions on one of the cards provided and hand it to a league member. Questions can be submitted online up to a day before the forum, and they will also be included. All candidates may answer any question, whether or not it was directed to them. Candidates may take up to 1 minute to answer, and at the end of the question period, each candidate will have up to 1 minute for a concluding statement. And so then the unopposed candidates, and this is getting kind of long, isn't it? The unopposed candidates from Ward 3 and Ward 4 will each have up to 3 minutes to speak to their desire to serve on the Crystal City Council. Whereas the League of Women Voters does not conduct empty chair debates, where due to a variety of reasons one opposing candidate cannot participate, we do offer unopposed candidates an opportunity to describe their vision for the office they seek. But there will not be a question and answer period after their statements, and we urge you to ask them individually after the forum has been completed. Now, we will have the opening statements in the mayoral race, and the candidates for mayor are, in alphabetical order, Jim Adams and Rene Bowman. Now, we do have a timekeeper right here, and she will assist you, we call it assist you, in indicating how much time remains and when to stop. So can you see her clearly? She's right here. So please begin with your opening statements of up to 2 minutes, and the first candidate to speak will be Renae Bowman.
Thank you to the League for sponsoring this forum, and thank you, citizens, for taking the time to listen and learn before casting your vote. I am Renae Bowman. I am here tonight to reapply for my job as mayor of Crystal. I am a lifelong resident of the area and married to Joe Selton. Between us, we have 4 daughters, 2 son-in-laws, 8 grandkids, and 2 dogs. I earned a college degree in management and created career success working within a variety of businesses, both large and small, in the areas of compliance, training, and project management. As your mayor, I have a proven track record of success. My knowledge, tools, skills, and experiences as an elected official offer proof I will continue to do a great job as Crystal's mayor. I will continue to provide leadership initiatives that create positive outcomes for all citizens. I know how to build working coalitions among diverse beliefs and opinions and to enable positive outcomes when planning budgets and spending tax dollars. I know how to lead the way to get a budget approved that maintains services and does not spike city tax levies. I understand the many facets of local government, when it serves citizens and when it does not. I am innovative and creative when seeking solutions, and I possess the common sense to make change that serves all. During times of tight budget, I demand we play fair and put everything on the table for review. I know when we need to get beyond protectionism in order to make sometimes painful yet long-term positive changes. I demand quantitative information. I do not support government decision-making based on hearsay and rhetoric. I want the facts. Some call this abrasive. I call it leadership. I ask for your continued support and your vote on November 6th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we'll hear from Jim Adams.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for allowing us this opportunity to speak to the citizens of Crystal. It's very important. It's a very important way for you to discover who we really are. As an accountant, I dealt with facts and numbers and sources of information that are important to me. I understand Crystal's financial condition. My source is the comprehensive annual financial report produced by the city. On page 121, there are facts that show Crystal citizens that our tax levy has increased by 53% over the past 7 years. This document reports key financial metrics. Page 121, property taxes up 27.1% in the past 7 years. Page 117, property taxes up 27.1% in the past 7 years. Page 117, assessments up 21.7% in the past 7 years. Page 124, increase in general bond debt outstanding, an astonishing 478% in the past 7 years. This is important to be direct about issues. And I need to be direct about personal attacks on integrity by my opponent. This past Saturday, my opponent wrote that I was a liar and publicly questioned my integrity. However, numbers don't lie, and I must assume that this document is correct. And I accept this document to be true and accurate as written. During the evening, I will inform and educate the citizens about my qualifications to serve them as mayor for the next 4 years. I will speak forthrightly and honestly in answering their questions, and I trust my opponent will be using the same information source for discussing Crystal's financial condition and addressing the issues with honesty and civility.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for the audience questions. Audience, you may continue to write and raise your hand for a league member to collect your questions during the course of the forum. Questions may be directed to an individual or to both candidates, and each candidate has the opportunity to respond to any question. It is our intention to select questions that represent the interest expressed by the members of our audience and those who submit questions. We do reserve the right to consolidate questions if there are several on one issue, so that as many issues as possible may be covered during this period. Questions will be answered in rotating order, and the first one to answer will be Jim Adams. And here's the question. Name one thing you are really passionate about and that you will work to change in the city of Crystal, and how would you start to make that change happen?
I think the one thing is being financially responsible, and that brings in an awful lot of things. The current mayor contends that we have very little debt in Crystal and we don't deficit spend. That's correct. The debt has increased 478% in the past 7 years. The mayor says it's okay, that all that debt is for the road construction, it's for our citizen, and it's a pass-through for the city. And it doesn't increase the city expenses, but it's not a pass-through for the citizens of Crystal. No discussion about the added burden to the citizens, 487% increase in their burden. I will be continuously on the lookout for ways to reduce and eliminate debt, whether it be from deficit spending or whether it be from road reconstruction.
Thank you. Mayor Bowman.
Please repeat the question.
Okay. Name one thing you are really passionate about and you will work to change in the city of Crystal, and how would you start to make that change happen?
The thing I'm most passionate about as mayor in the city of Crystal are the people that I serve. One of the things that is very true about government is that it can be complex. It's also like a business. So sometimes we have customer service issues out there that need to be fixed. Sometimes there are other problems, such as codes that don't make sense anymore. And it's when citizens bring that information forward to me, the mayor, we're able to do that problem solving. So I'm very passionate about the citizens and the problem solving that we do here in Crystal so that people can get the quality of life that they're looking for in a community. How I will continue to do that is how I've always done it. I've posted my home phone number and my home email address out to the public. I'm out in the public all the time. I shop at my local stores. I'm within the community, and I get stopped and talked to quite a bit by a number of people. So I'll continue working with the people to make sure that we keep Crystal the greatest place it is to live. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Here's a question about the budget, and we'll begin with Mayor Bowman.
Sure.
With the budget problems facing the city, what do you consider the priorities for ongoing operational responsibilities?
Ongoing priorities will be the operations piece of it. We need to plow snow. We need to keep leaves out of our stormwater system. We need to make sure that our parks are maintained because they're an integral part of the quality of life here in Crystal. We need to make sure that we have kind of a little bit for everybody, some trails, some parks that we've put in. And those are really core services. This past year in our citizen survey, we did note that citizens are not willing to see a cut in their core services, but they're also not willing to have a tax increase. So that's why this year, for our 2013 budget, we do have our, we're at a 0%. So, we're going to maintain what we're doing. We run a tight budget. We're going to keep the services out there. We're going to keep our eye on customer service. And we're not going to raise taxes horribly. So.
Okay, and Jim Adams.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes,
please?
I will. With the budget problems facing the city, what do you consider the priorities for ongoing operational responsibilities?
The priorities are to maintain services close to where they are right now, also not increasing the budget. What will happen in my administration will be we will keep property taxes from the city portion where they are now, and we will take a look at LGA, and we will start confronting LGA. the operational part of it shouldn't change. However, we will continue to look at everything, whether it be reduction of slight service. I know I just commented and said that we wouldn't do much. However, that may be necessary. We are going to look at LGA, reduce it. My position is to wean us off the LGA a little bit without a tax spike. That's what our mayor said. That's unbelievable. I was at a mayor leadership. I have to stop. Excuse me.
Maybe there will be an opportunity to continue because there seem to be quite a few questions here on taxes. So,
Great.
Here is the next question, and Jim Adams, you will be the first one to respond to this. Crystal gets their water from the city of Minneapolis. There is a one-day backup supply. Do you think there should be additional backup for the water system? And if so, what would you suggest the backup be?
New Hope, Crystal, and Golden Valley are doing a feasible study to open some wells in our area. Currently, there are emergency sources from surrounding cities that can be used in this case. If the water source from Minneapolis is gone, it comes from the Mississippi. The emergency sources we have in place right now are the communities around us who have their own wells, like Plymouth, Robbinsdale, and private wells from citizens who live in Crystal. I believe we should secure our own water supply and continue to move towards that goal. My current opinion is to wait for implementation until it can be incorporated in a sustainable spending plan. I believe I did not explain myself well enough from the last forum. My point is, for years, the city has been encouraging people to cap their wells, but maybe we get a new emergency. Maybe until we get a new emergency well set up, we can encourage citizens to keep those wells open until that is set up.
Thank you. And Mayor Bowman?
Repeat the question, please.
Yes. Crystal gets their water from the city of Minneapolis. There is a one-day backup supply. Do you think there should be additional backup for the water system? And if so, what would you suggest the backup be?
Great. Thank you very much. This is an issue we've discussed a lot with the Joint Water Commission along with the City Council of Crystal. Yes, I believe there needs to be an emergency backup system. Right now we're looking at reopening a well in New Hope, and I think Golden Valley has a well, and drilling one more well. There is limited to almost no emergency connectedness between cities for water supply. If our water goes down, we're not fighting fires, our businesses are out of business, and I think that it's imperative for this part of the metro area to take a leadership position, because water has become a very, very important well, it's always been an important part of our lives. Without it, we die. So by having an emergency backup system, we've been well served by the water that we buy from Minneapolis. Our prices are good. They also have a backup system that they're building for their system that we won't necessarily be responsible for paying for. So thank you.
All right. Now, Jim Adams, oh, you know what? I'm a little ahead of myself. Okay, this question is for Renae Bowman. First, what ideas do you have to promote new businesses?
Well, you know, that's not really the role of government necessarily to promote new business. One of the things government can do, which I've done, was start the Crystal Business Association, so that the business owners have a say and input into the process of local government. That's been a success. It became business-driven, citizen-driven after that. Promoting new business means also having ease of getting in and out of the city, so transportation, that's something that we kind of deal with. Being able to have a low crime rate, so people want to be here. Crime is down in my city by 4.4% overall, and the police department was under budget. So those are a couple of things that we can do that support the businesses that we have and make it possible for other businesses to want to move into my city. Thank you.
And Jim Adams.
Encouraging business from a government standpoint, it's kind of tricky. We need to support it by pretty much staying out of their way, trying to prevent codes that are created to slow them down from accomplishing the goals that they're attempting to do. When it comes to government and when it comes to government setting up competition against businesses, I've seen that before when it comes to real estate. Sometimes the EDA will actually bid against a private investor when they're selling a property. And that kind of thing should not be tolerated. If there is a private solution, I think the private solution should come before government. I've seen in many council meetings I've been to, many work sessions, that they never have that discussion as to whether there's a private solution.
All right, here's the next question, and Mr. Adams, you begin with this one. Bottineau Boulevard is a project over which Crystal seems to have little control, and yet there is much development yet to be planned and executed. What is your position on that development?
I think Bottineau Boulevard, it's very similar to the question we just asked, because there's going to be a lot of development that occurs around that line. We've already committed to the rail, to the light rail. We now have to make sure that we are promoting proper development. I know the EDA is going to have a role in it, but it's important to keep the EDA at check to do responsible development. Development that serves our city and residents is important, and I think it's very important that it's the private business that drives this. The private business needs to be the people who are driving what happens in this area. This is an area where we can have our businesses take part in the economic development of their city. Thank you.
And Mayor
May as well read it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Do you want me to read it again?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Bottineau Boulevard is a project over which Crystal seems to have little control, and yet there is much development yet to be planned and executed. What is your position on that development?
Well, the current position of the council, first of all, we have control over the development in that area through zoning laws. Second of all, we are, the EDA will be selling some properties from that area, but that was property that was purchased to do the project. We'll be opening that up to the public to purchase. Other side of it is that I don't see it as a lot of development left to go in that area. There are areas to be developed, but that corridor is quite well developed and rather quite healthy at this point. And like I said, the zoning laws that we have right now along the area and are the best way in order to keep that neighborhood conducive to the folks who live there and keep it healthy and safe.
Okay, and thank you. And now you will answer this question first.
Okay.
This question is, what are the ethical and respectful boundaries in the tone of the campaign?
I don't know that I can even judge that. I mean, I think that the citizens themselves judge that. To me, I have, I'm not the judge of the ethical and moral implications of what goes on during the campaign. Citizens are really the judge in that. So, I've done what I've done, which is gone out, talked to people, worked with what I have to work with, given my credentials, to talked about the work that I've done, talk about the work that I've continued to do, and that's been 99.9% of the discussion that I've had when I've been out campaigning, and it's more educational than it does fall into an area of that you're describing. So thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Adams.
I think ethics follows us wherever we go, whether it's public office, whether it's in our families, work, school, what have you. There's a lot of things that we do which can indicate if we're an ethical person or not. I tell you, I take a lot of pride in my character, in my integrity, and that's one of the things that anybody who knows me knows that that's very true of me. And I will treat council members with respect. I will treat citizens with respect. I will treat Hennepin County commissioners with respect. I will be someone who will work together with people. I have team concepts in any boards that I have run. We work very well that way. It's very ethical. It's great. It's a process that people feel comfortable in being a part of.
Thank you very much. And here is a question which is really first addressed to Jim Adams, but of course both candidates will answer this question. So we'll begin with Mr. Adams. And it says, Jim, on your website you state, reallocate funds to reduce our reliance on debt and other government entities. And second, free Crystal from debt and other government financing tricks. What debt are you suggesting we eliminate or reallocate, and what are the financing tricks, and what are they being used for? That's a long question.
Yeah, that is pretty long. Currently, I've already talked about debt. There's kind of two kinds of debt that Crystal currently holds. It's the operational, or what's referred to as the deficit spending, which is relatively low. I would love to bring that down to zero. Our economic times right now, our recovery is amazingly slow. I'd like us not to carry any debt. And if there's an opportunity, if we have some room in our capital budget and we can bring that over and cut some of that would be fantastic. When it comes to the debt that the road construction's creating for our citizens, we got to look at our citizens and what they are going through right now in these financial times. We are not the only government agency who is increasing taxes or what have you. This would be a great time to cut some of our reconstruction in the roads to give us a breath, to give us a chance to recover from the economic times. Thank you.
All right. And Mayor Bowman?
Yes, I'm going to answer the governing financial tricks. So the elimination of the market value homestead credit was a financial trick created by St. Paul during last year or the year before the legislature. And what that means to citizens of Crystal is in between 2011 and 2012, we actually dropped our tax amount by 2.07%. And by the time the state was done taking money away, promising us more money, taking more money away, we ended up with a 0% tax increase, and some people saw up to a 2%. That's one of the tricks. The other thing is I will repeat again, we do not deficit spend on operations. And if we were in such dire straits, how is it that we could have the highest bond rating for a city with our tax capacity? We are financially healthy. We need to stay financially healthy.
Thank you very much. Mayor Bowman, and you will speak first.
There we go.
You have spoken of a survey that was taken among the city residents. What key insights have you gleaned from this survey?
Oh, I touched upon that a little bit earlier, that citizens want to have services retained where they're at, but they don't want to see a tax increase. So we got that message loud and clear. It was very interesting in that survey this year was the spike in people who felt far more involved in their local government than they ever had from any other survey. The number of citizens that felt that we really had a limited number of issues here in the city of Crystal. And so those were really interesting. And it's actually been interesting out in the campaign as I talk with people, because it's like, what are our issues? And there haven't been a lot. So I think that what it really says is that we're healthy, we need to stay healthy, and we need to keep those taxes down.
Thank you very much. And Jim Adams.
Could you repeat the question again?
Yes, I will. Mayor Bowman spoke of a survey that was taken among Crystal City residents. And so the question asked, what key insights were gleaned from this survey?
I'm familiar with that survey. I was there when it was presented to the City Council. The one thing that struck me about that survey was question number 46. How much do you feel you know about the work of the mayor and the City Council? 52% of the respondents said they know very little. Only 6% said they had a great deal of knowledge. The mayor points to this survey and claims all kinds of achievements from that, where most people admittedly having very little knowledge of what they do. By the mayor's account, I am a liar, and I base my claims on facts and figures from a comprehensive annual financial report. You be the judge. Which tells an accurate story? Financial statements or an opinion from a survey?
All right, and with our time running out, we have just time for one more question. And you can see I have a lot of them here, many of them about taxes. So I really do hope that people in the audience will ask these candidates these questions after the forum is over to satisfy your need for answers. But here is the last question, and we will begin with Jim Adams first. What makes you most proud of our city of Crystal?
I love the people here. I work here. I volunteer here. That's what I love most about Crystal. I've been knocking on a lot of doors. I've met a lot of people. It's amazing to see the outreach from these people who encourage you to keep going and give you the support you need to keep on going, fighting a fight. It's also an area where I serve on the West Metro Fire Rescue District, and I know a lot of people here. I've seen them on their worst day, and it is my honor to have served them that way. And I would love to serve them in a different way as mayor of Crystal. But really, what's in Crystal are the people who live here. Thank you.
And Mayor Bowman.
Yes, there are a number of things that I'm so proud about this city. I'm around the city quite a bit. We have that wonderful small town feel with the access to big city amenities. As I said earlier, the people here are absolutely marvelous. People have been involved in their local government. I love and I'm passionate about how healthy and clean our city looks at this point, and the improvements that we've made to the physical structures around the city that are welcoming to new people who come in. I'm happy that there are so many young families who have decided that Crystal is the place where you get the biggest bang for your buck when you go to buy a home, and you also have a fabulous school district to raise your kids in, and we have low crime rate here. I'm proud of all of that when it comes to it. City of Crystal is a complete package to me of living in heaven, so I'm really passionate about everything about Crystal. Thank you.
Well, that was quite an endorsement from both of you. Now, we've reached the final segment of the mayoral forum when each candidate has 1 minute to give a closing statement. And we'll begin in reverse order from the opening statements, and that means we begin with Jim Adams.
Thank you. I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for giving me the opportunity to speak and give my views to the citizens of Crystal. I have heard your voice, and I will fight for the citizens of Crystal. My candidacy is based on facts from the financial statements, not from opinions on a survey. If you believe we are heading in the wrong direction, with 27% increase in property taxes in 7 years, a 53% increase in the tax levy over 7 years, a 21% increase in city assessments in the past 7 years, or a 478% increase in debt in 7 years. Don't worry, it's a pass-through for the city, but it's not a pass-through for the citizens. Then I know if you think we are going in the wrong direction, you will vote for me. I have the integrity and the character, and I'm asking your vote. I'm asking for your vote. Please vote November 6th for Jim Adams for Crystal Mayor.
Thank you very much. And Renae Bowman.
Thank you very much. 8 years ago, I was elected to represent you. I listened, then I demonstrated that I'm a catalyst for positive community change. During the next 4 years, I remain committed to my core values that include transparencies and budgets, and I will add at this point in a comment to Mr. Adams that his facts are wrong. What does your tax statement say to you? What has your tax statement said to you every year for the last 5 or 6 years when you've opened it up? We have not had 50% increases in things, so I'm just done with that. I commit to continue to work to improve ways to deliver citizen services without raising costs, work with state and legislative officials to make sure the money we receive from the state is stable and sustainable, and I will lead the council to discover through comprehensive citizen input whether or not a majority of citizens support farm animal ownership and how a new code might be implemented. You know me, you know I've worked hard for you, you know I am the best candidate for this job as Crystal Mayor. Please vote for me, Renae Bowman, on November 6th. Thank you very much.
And now you've heard from the candidates for Mayor of Crystal. Thank you both very much for the answers to the questions and your statements. We'll have a brief break while the unopposed candidates be a brief break while the unopposed candidates Casey Peak and Julie Deschler take their places up at the
Table.
At the table.